Welcome back to the tale of two New York goalies. We left off with the lockout of the 2004-2005 season. And with that being settled, we'll start things off with the beginning of the 2005-2006 season of the New York Islanders. The New York Islanders season was cautiously optimistic, but ultimately, the team struggled. They finished with a 36-win, 40-loss, 6 overtime loss record, placing 12th in the Eastern Conference and missing the playoffs. Key players included captain Alexei Yashin and Miroslav Satin, who led the team in points. Rick DiPietro emerged as a solid goaltender with 30 wins, but the team faced challenges defensively, allowing 278 goals. This season was marked by instability, including a mid-season coach change from Steve Sterling to Brad Shaw. After the season, Mike Milbury officially left the New York Islanders organization. He served as the team's general manager from 1995 until 2006, when he was reassigned to a scouting role after the team struggled to find success under his management. His tenure is often criticized for poor trades and draft decisions, which contributed to the franchise's difficulties during that period. Mike Milbury's departure from the New York Islanders was primarily due to his controversial and often criticized management decisions. His tenure was marked by several poor trades and draft choices that failed to improve the team performance. Notable missteps included trading away future stars like Roberto Luongo and Zdeno Chara, and making questionable draft picks such as Rick DiPietro over other promising players. These decisions led to a lack of success on the ice, with the team making only 3 playoff appearances during his time as general manager. The cumulative effect of these issues ultimately led to his reassignment in 2006. So as for Rick DiPietro's season, it was seen as a mixed performance. He played 63 games, achieving 30 wins, but had a goal against average of 3.02 and a save percentage of .900, which were considered average. Despite the team's struggles, DiPietro showed potential as their starting goaltender, and his performance was seen as a foundation for future growth. Now, as for the New York Rangers, their season was optimistic and marked a significant turnaround for the franchise. After missing the playoffs for 7 consecutive seasons, the Rangers finished with a 44-win, 26-loss, and 12 overtime losses record, earning 100 points and securing a playoff spot as the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. The New York Rangers' resurgence in the 2005-2006 season was driven by several key factors. Jaromir Jagr's performance was one of them. He had a record-breaking season, scoring 54 goals and 123 points, which were both franchise records. His leadership and scoring ability were pivotal in transforming the team's offensive capabilities. They also added Michael Nylander and Martin Straka, who complemented Jagr, forming a dominant line that significantly boosted the team's performance. And they have improved team chemistry. The combination of experienced veterans and emerging young talent created a balanced roster that was competitive throughout the season. This also marks Henrik Lundqvist's debut season and it significantly shaped his career with the New York Rangers. He quickly emerged as a starting goaltender after an injury to Kevin Weekes, finishing the season with a 30-win, 12-loss, 9 overtime loss record, a .922 save percentage, and a 2.24 goal against average. His stellar performance helped the Rangers reach the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, establishing him as a cornerstone of the team and earning him the nickname the King. Lundqvist also received the honors of being on the All-Rookie team, and he was joined by very good company, the 2 new faces of the NHL, Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. Now, with the first season with both goaltenders at the same time is over, both New York teams seem to be happy with their goalies and are looking to build off their performances for next season. Now for the Islanders' 2006-2000 season. This season was marked by several significant developments. The Islanders qualified for the playoffs despite being picked by many analysts to finish near the bottom of the standings. They secured their playoff spot with a late-season winning streak and a crucial 3-2 shootout victory against the New Jersey Devils in the final regular season game. At the trade deadline, the Islanders acquired forward Ryan Smith from the Edmonton Oilers, which bolstered their lineup and contributed to their playoff push. Goaltender Rick DiPietro faced injuries, including concussions, which were setbacks for the team. Despite returning for the playoffs, the Islanders were eliminated in the first round by the Buffalo Sabres in 5 games. Rick DiPietro signed a 15-year contract with the New York Islanders on September 12, 2006. The deal was worth $67.5 million, making it a landmark contract at the time under the NHL's collective bargaining agreement. This type of deal was unheard of. The length of this deal basically meant he would be an Islander for the rest of his career. As for his season, it had its ups and downs, and he started to deal with his injuries. Injuries to Rick DiPietro during the 2006-2000 season had a significant impact on the New York Islanders' strategy and performance. DiPietro suffered multiple concussions late in the season, which forced him to miss crucial games, including the playoffs. His absence highlighted the team's reliance on him as their primary goaltender, affecting their defensive stability. The Islanders had to adjust by relying on backup goaltenders, which impacted their overall performance and contributed to their first-round playoff exit against the Buffalo Sabres. The recurring nature of DiPietro's injuries also raised concern about his long-term durability and influenced the team's future planning. The New York Islanders evaluated Rick DiPietro's season positively as he showed significant improvement and played a crucial role in the team's performance. DiPietro recorded a .919 save percentage, ranking 6th among NHL goaltenders that season, and achieved a 32-win, 19-loss, 9-overtime loss record with a 2.58 goal against average. His strong play was instrumental in helping the Islanders secure a playoff spot. However, his season was marred by injuries, including concussions, which affected his availability towards the end of the season and into the playoffs. Despite these setbacks, his performance was considered promising for the team's future. As for the Rangers' 2006-2007 season, they finished with a record of 42 wins, 30 losses, 10 overtime losses, accumulating 94 points. This placed them 3rd in the Atlantic Division and 6th in the Eastern Conference, securing a playoff berth for the 2nd consecutive season. Jaromir Jagr was named the 24th captain in Rangers history before the season began. He played all 82 games, scored 30 goals and 66 assists for a total of 96 points. This led the team in goals, assists, and points. The Rangers had a strong playoff run, swept the Atlanta Thrashers in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals, advanced to the conference semifinals where they were eliminated by the Buffalo Sabres in Game 6. This season marked a continuation of the Rangers' resurgence as they solidified their status as playoff contenders and showcased strong performances from both veteran players and emerging talents. During the season, Henrik Lundqvist continued to establish himself as one of the NHL's top goaltenders for the New York Rangers. He played 70 games, recorded 37 wins, which led the team, posted an impressive 2.34 goal against average. His strong play was crucial in helping the Rangers secure a playoff berth for the 2nd consecutive season. In the playoffs, he started all 10 playoff games, recorded 6 wins and 4 losses. He played a key role in the Rangers' sweep of the Atlanta Thrashers. Lundqvist's consistent play was a major factor in the Rangers' success. His strong goaltending helped the Rangers go 10-2-3 in March, solidifying their playoff position. Lundqvist's performance was crucial in the team's late season surge as they went 13-3-4 after the trade deadline. Both teams and both goalies have made the playoffs, still giving their team hope for success in the future and confirmation that they had their franchise goaltender. As we move on to the next season, the 2007-2008 season was a challenging one for the New York Islanders. The Islanders finished the season with a record of 35 wins, 38 losses, and 9 overtime losses, accumulating 79 points. This placed them 5th in the Atlantic Division, 13th in the Eastern Conference. Unfortunately, this performance was not enough to secure a playoff berth, making a step back from their playoff appearance in the previous season. The Islanders struggled offensively during the season. They finished the regular season with 194 goals for, which was the fewest of all 30 teams in the NHL. They allowed the most shorthanded goals in the NHL with 15. Rick DiPietro's season with the Islanders was a solid performance, though it marked the beginning of injury troubles that would eventually derail his career. He played 63 games for the Islanders, recorded 26 wins, leading the team in this category, posted a .282 goal against average, achieved a .902 save percentage. Rick DiPietro did have some notable moments that season. On January 13, 2008, DiPietro made 31 saves in a 3-1 victory over the Ottawa Senators. He came close to scoring a goal himself in that game, showcasing his puck-handling skills. He also participated in the 2008 NHL All-Star Game, his first and only All-Star appearance. DiPietro's performance showed some decline compared to previous seasons. His goal against average did increase from 2.58 to 2.82, and his save percentage dropped from .919 to .0902. During the All-Star Skills competitions, DiPietro suffered an injury during Martin Gabourik's shootout attempt, foreshadowing future injury problems. Moving on to the Rangers, they finished their season with a record of 42 wins, 27 losses, 13 overtime losses, accumulating 97 points. This placed them third in the Atlantic Division, fifth in the Eastern Conference, and this gave them the playoff berth for the third consecutive season. The Rangers made significant offseason acquisitions, signing centers Chris Drury and Scott Gomez, which raised expectations for the team. After a slow start, the team had a strong turnaround in February, going 8-2-2 for the month. On April 3, 2008, the Rangers clinched the playoff berth with a 3-0 win against their crosstown rivals, the Islanders. The Rangers had a successful playoff run, defeated the New Jersey Devils in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals in 5 games. They were eliminated by the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Eastern Conference semifinals, also in 5 games. The team showed resilience, going 13-3-4 after the trade deadline. The Rangers demonstrated balanced scoring, with 2 players tying for the team lead in goals. Overall, the 2007-2008 season was considered successful for the Rangers, as they continued their streak of playoff appearances and showed improvement in several areas. The addition of Drury and Gomez, combined with strong performances from veterans like Jágr and stellar goaltending from Lundqvist, contributed to a competitive season for the team. Henrik Lundqvist had another strong season for the Rangers. He played 72 games, 37 wins, 24 losses, and 10 overtime losses. Posted a .223 goal against average, achieved a .912 save percentage, and recorded 10 shutouts. Lundqvist's 37 wins led the team and were crucial in the Rangers finishing third in the Atlantic Division and fifth in the Eastern Conference. His strong play helped the Rangers secure a playoff berth for the third consecutive season. Now, during this season, on February 13th, Lundqvist signed a 6-year, $41.25 million contract extension with the Rangers, averaging $6.875 million per season. This made him the highest-paid goaltender in the NHL on average over the length of his contract at that time. And what he did since then? On February 24th, Lundqvist became the first Rangers goaltender to record 8 shutouts in a single season since Eddie Giacomin in 1970-71. On March 6th, he recorded his 30th win of the season, making him just the second goaltender, along with Ron Hextall, to record at least 30 wins in each of his first 3 NHL seasons. On March 9th, Lundqvist became the first Rangers goaltender to record 9 shutouts in a season since Eddie Giacomin's 1966-67 season. In the playoffs, Lundqvist played in 10 playoff games, recorded 5 wins and 5 losses, posted a 2.57 goals against average and a .909 save percentage. He achieved 1 playoff shutout. Lundqvist's performance in the 2007-2008 season further solidified his status as one of the NHL's top goaltenders and a cornerstone of the Rangers' success. His consistent play and ability to win games were crucial factors in the team's regular season success and playoff appearance. The New York Rangers are showing that they are becoming a force in the NHL. They have one of the league's top goaltenders, and they gave him a contract extension that shows how great he is. Meanwhile, the Islanders look to be taking a step back and are now looking to doing another rebuild. So now we get to the 2009-2010 season, and the Islanders finished their season a little better. They improved to 79 points, but last year they were one of the worst teams in hockey. They ended up getting the first overall pick in the previous draft. They selected John Tavares with that pick, which was seen as potentially a franchise-changing addition. They had a young core development, Kyle Okposo, who led the team in goals with 18 as a 20-year-old. Overall, the season outlook for the Islanders was one of cautious optimism. They were coming off a very poor season, but had added a potential star in Tavares and had young talent developing. The expectation was for noticeable improvement, but likely not yet a return to playoff contention. As for Rick DiPietro, he only played in 8 games during the 2009-2010 season. This was another injury-plagued year for him, continuing a trend from previous seasons. DiPietro returned from injury on January 8, 2010 in a 4-3 loss to the Dallas Stars. His last start of the 2010 season came on February 6 against the Carolina Hurricanes. He earned his 5th loss in 7 starts, as the Islanders fell 3-1. On February 13th, he was listed as day-to-day with the flu. Less than a month later, swelling in his left knee caused him to be placed on injured reserve list, effective March 2nd. He did not return for the rest of the season. The Islanders finished in the 2009-2010 season with a record of 34 wins, 37 losses, 11 overtime losses. Overall, this season was another disappointing one for DiPietro, marked by very limited playing time and continued health problems. His chronic injuries were becoming a major concern for both DiPietro and the Islanders organization. As for the Rangers, this season was a hiccup for them. The Rangers finished with a record of 38 wins, 33 losses, 11 overtime losses, accumulating 87 points. They placed 4th in the Atlantic Division and 9th in the Eastern Conference. The Rangers failed to qualify for the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs. This broke a streak of 4 consecutive playoff appearances. They narrowly missed the playoffs, finishing just 1 point behind the 8th place Philadelphia Flyers. They had a late season push. The Rangers went 7-1-2 at the end of the season in a strong push for a playoff spot. As for Henrik Lundqvist, he played in 73 games, which was one of the heaviest workloads of his career. Despite the high number of games played, he maintained a strong save percentage of .921. He had a win-loss record of 35 wins, 27 losses, and 10 overtime losses. He also recorded 4 shutouts during the regular season. Overall, Lundqvist had a strong individual season in 2009-2010, playing a high number of games while maintaining excellent statistics. However, the team's performance didn't match the individual efforts as they narrowly missed the playoffs. Moving on to the 2010-2011 season, the Islanders are right where they were at the beginning of the story. The Islanders finished with a record of 30 wins, 39 losses, 13 overtime losses, accumulating 73 points. They placed 5th in the Atlantic Division and 14th in the Eastern Conference. Overall, this season was challenging for the Islanders, marked by coaching changes, poor attendance, and failure to make the playoffs. However, there were some bright spots, such as the performance of young talents like John Tavares and Michael Grabner, which could provide hope for future improvement. As for Rick DiPietro's season, it was another injured year. DiPietro started the season apparently healthy. He worked in a platoon tandem with Dwayne Rollison. On December 21st, he was placed on injured reserve due to knee swelling. He returned in December, but was primarily used as a backup due to Rollison's strong play. He made his first start returning on December 29th against the Pittsburgh Penguins, winning a 2-1 shootout decision. On December 31st, the Islanders traded Rollison, confirming the starting job for DiPietro. On February 2, 2011, DiPietro engaged in a rare goaltender fight against Pittsburgh's Brent Johnson. He was knocked out and had his jaw broken by a single punch from Johnson. This injury kept him off the ice for weeks. DiPietro returned shortly to finish the season. He wore the old helmet in cage combo previously used by former Islanders goaltender Chris Osgood. This season was marked by injury setbacks and limited playing time for DiPietro. As for the Rangers' season, they made a turnaround. The Rangers finished with a record of 44 wins, 33 losses, 5 overtime losses, accumulating 93 points. They placed third in the Atlantic Division and eighth in the Eastern Conference. The team scored 233 goals and allowed 198 goals. The Rangers qualified for the playoffs as the 8th seed on the final day of the regular season. They were eliminated in the first round by the Washington Capitals. For Henrik Lundqvist, he played in 68 games, demonstrating his reliability and endurance as the team's primary goaltender. His goals against average of .228 and save percentage of .923 were among the best in the league, showcasing his ability to keep the team competitive. Lundqvist recorded 11 shutouts, tying him for the league lead and highlighting his capability to deliver standout performances. His strong play was instrumental in helping the Rangers qualify for the playoffs as the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. In the playoffs, Lundqvist played all 5 games against the Washington Capitals, where he faced significant pressure but ultimately could not advance past the first round. Lundqvist's consistent performance throughout the season continued to solidify his reputation as one of the elite goaltenders in the NHL. Overall, Lundqvist's season was marked by strong individual statistics and significant contributions to the Rangers' success. Despite a first-round playoff exit, his performance kept him at the forefront of discussions regarding top goaltenders in the league. Now, the Rangers still have all the confidence in Lundqvist. He's always been consistently good for them, and they know they need to improve elsewhere in order to make a deeper run in the playoffs. The Islanders, they are losing their patience with DiPietro's play. His injuries are just piling up, and when he can play, it's not good. It's so bad, they want to give him a buyout. And if a team wants to buy a player's contract out, that means they really don't want the player to be on the team. And now for the 2011-2012 season. The Islanders finished with a record of 34 wins, 37 losses, and 11 overtime losses, accumulating 79 points. They placed 5th in the Atlantic Division and 14th in the Eastern Conference. Overall, their season was a challenging one for the Islanders. While they have promising young talent in players like John Tavares and Matt Moulson, the team struggled defensively and failed to make the playoffs. And as for Rick DiPietro, he only appeared in 8 games and started 6. His goals against average was .373, which is considered high and indicative of struggles in the net. DiPietro's season was plagued by a series of fluke injuries, including a concussion sustained during practice from a shot to the mask. He also faced ongoing issues with his knee, which had been a recurring problem throughout his career. These injuries severely limited his ability to contribute consistently to the team. Due to his limited appearances, DiPietro's role on the team was diminished, and he spent significant time as a backup. DiPietro's injury history and performance led to frustration among fans and analysts. His long-term contract, the 15-year for $67.5 million, became a point of contention as he struggled to stay healthy and perform at an elite level. There were discussions about potentially buying out his contract due to his inability to stay on the ice and contribute effectively. Overall, Rick DiPietro's season was another disappointing chapter in his career, characterized by injuries that prevented him from reclaiming a starting role. His struggles continued to overshadow his talent and potential, leading to questions about his future with the Islanders as they navigated their own rebuilding process. As for the Rangers, they were looking for an improved year, and they got it. The Rangers finished with a record of 51 wins, 24 losses, 7 overtime losses, accumulating 109 points. They won the Atlantic Division title and finished first in the Eastern Conference, making their first division title since the 1993-94 season. The team scored 226 goals while allowing only 187 goals, showcasing a strong defensive effort. The Rangers set an NHL record by not allowing more than 4 goals in regulation for the first 69 games, They participated in the 2012 NHL Winter Classic, defeating the Philadelphia Flyers 3-2. The team clinched their division title on April 3rd with a victory over the Philadelphia Flyers. In the playoffs, the Rangers faced the Ottawa Senators in the first round, winning in 7 games after overcoming a 3-2 series deficit. They then defeated the Washington Capitals in another 7-game series to reach the Eastern Conference Finals. The Rangers ultimately lost to the New Jersey Devils in 6 games in the conference finals. Overall, this season was a landmark year for the New York Rangers, marked by a return to prominence in the NHL. With a strong roster and effective coaching under John Tortorella, they not only captured their division, but also made a deep playoff run, reigniting hope among fans for the future success. And this couldn't be without Henrik Lundqvist's season, as he had an outstanding season for them, solidifying his status as one of the top NHL goaltenders in the NHL. He played 62 games, won 39, lost 18, had 5 overtime losses, had a goal against average of 1.97, save percentage of .930, and also had 8 shutouts. Henrik Lundqvist's statistics during the 2011-2012 season not only placed him among the elite goaltenders in the NHL, but also demonstrated his critical role in leading the New York Rangers to a successful season, including a first-place finish in the Eastern Conference. His performance was characterized by consistency, resilience, and an ability to perform under pressure, making him a standout player that year. After the season, the Rangers have a Vezina-winning goaltender. A 7th-round pick is a Vezina winner. What an unexpected surprise for the Rangers. It sure seems to look like a Hall of Fame career. The Islanders, they are looking to have a restart and search for their new franchise goaltender. And that's it for this episode. The final episode will start not with the season, but with a lockout. I'll see you in the next one.